All right, how to grab the gi. It's a very good one. Okay, you want to know why this is so important? Because the hands is where you're connected to the person, obviously. And if there is slack, okay, if there's slack, you see how there's slack here in the gi? When I pull, right, when I go from here to here, it's doing nothing to him, okay? As opposed to if I have a good connection here, right, if I pull from here forward, it immediately pulls him, okay? So I want to make sure that the gi is attached to my hand and also attached to his body. All right? So the way we've been taught a lot of times in judo is like bow, okay, right versus right, hand on the collar, hand on the sleeve, okay? This is how you hold the gi. So it's called ayotsu. Sometimes right versus left. He goes outside, he turns lefty, right? This is kenkayotsu, sleeve and sleeve, lapel sleeve, lapel sleeve. Inside position, outside position, okay? Inside position, outside position. All right, we've all been taught this, but we've never really been taught the nuances of how to hold the gi to maximize your attacking judo. Okay, not just attacking judo, defensive judo as well. I'm going to start with the middle of the sleeve. What I want to do is once he grabs this lapel hand, I want to go high and grab by the top of the bicep here. Okay, this hand goes down here. From here, look, I use my 3 fingers and I pull the sleeve together. I'm gathering the material. And from here, look, I pull this to the side, so now there's tension, okay? So now there's no space on the inside of his elbow here. From here, look, I engage my thumb and curl my thumb downward. So now, look, I can collect it even more. Okay, you see now these fingers are loose. I collect it, and then I could turn the hand, okay? Even if he's holding on really tight here, right? I have a very, very strong handle. Very, very important that my hand is not facing in this direction, because if I'm pushing down this way, there's a lot of tension on the fingers, okay? I want to collect it, turn it, so now I'm pushing on this handle, okay? It's like maximizing your pushing power, okay? So now from here, these 2 fingers are loose, okay? I need these to be loose in order to adjust, okay? In case if he moves the elbow up and down, and now it's a little bit looser here, okay? I need to be able to regain this, pull, and then adjust using these top 2 fingers, okay? So it's here, here, here. Okay, so now, very, very, very tight. It's very easy for me to lean into this arm using my body weight and my structure, okay? This makes it extremely difficult for him to use this arm effectively, okay? Judo is about off balance and control. When I'm controlling his arm, he doesn't have the freedom to move it to do what he wants to do, which is control my head and my upper body, okay? So that's how you grab the sleeve in the middle. You don't always need to be engaging down here, okay? You could be relaxed here, right? You could be going underneath, right, to be able to lift a little bit, or you could be pinning, and then you could be pulling, okay? All these different things, sort of minutia, right? Very, very important, okay? So, generally speaking, when I have the hand in the middle of the elbow, I'm controlling, okay? And if he decides to push his hand upward, look, it's very easy for me to turn my hand over and create a little bit of more pulling force, okay? So down, if I feel this hand going in this direction, look, I rotate my hand over. I'm trying to wipe the sweat off my forehead here, okay? Here, down this way. Okay, very, very strong grip. From this position, if I want to take this hand off the collar, I need to go lower on the sleeve, right? The way I do this from here is I take my thumb and go over. See, I go over the bicep here. I'm here, I rotate, and then I slide this hand down, okay? Same idea, I grab by the pinkies, I pull, use my thumb, control, and now it's very, very tight across the wrist, okay? Since his hand's pretty high, for me to push from here is very difficult because the position of my elbow makes my tricep engaged, and my tricep's not as strong as my other bigger muscles. So from here, I adjust the gi. So now I'm in good pushing position, and now it's a lot easier for me to start trying to cut this hand, okay? If it doesn't cut the hand off right away, that's fine. Because essentially, it's my ability to push versus Eugene's ability to hold on. How strong is Eugene's grip strength? Pretty strong. He's a rock climber, this guy, right? Very strong hands. Did judo for a very long time. In this scenario, I'm going to try to use some attacking, feinting, all these things to distract them and then cut the hand. Okay? Or sometimes, just mechanics of movement. I'm pushing him, separating, and adding. The beauty of this hand off, once I have the sleeve, is that if I want to go into the opposite direction for Sode, I turn the hand over and then bring my knuckles directly underneath his forearm, okay? Notice that there's tension going down, and then it's levered against my knuckle. You feel that pressure underneath the forearm?
Yeah.
That hurt?
A little bit.
It sucks, right? So this is how you grab and attack Sode, by keeping the elbow tight underneath. You could also use the same idea and go this way for Ochi, to finishing Ochi to this direction, okay? I like this a lot more than going Ochi and lifting from the top side, because that can off balance me, okay? So go under, this way, okay? Similarly here, you can do it, but it's a little bit difficult. You have to kind of adjust underneath this way, right? Where the knuckles go underneath for Sode, okay? So it's a little bit different. Once I get this hand here on the collar, okay? What I want to do is I want to engage these three fingers. This theme is always going to be the same, okay? You generally want to grab with the bottom three, okay? And you want to elevate here, okay? You want to elevate and then have this sort of a connection where you're levering this gi towards you, okay? And then your back of your palm is resting against the person's collarbone, okay? So it's pushing here and then pulling here in this direction, like this. When you do this, okay, it creates this tension across the gi, and it works very, very well, right? If you look across the back of the shoulders here, right, with this. So now, once you have this sort of a thing, you see how it creates this tight band across the back, right? Now, from here, right, not only are you using your hand or the lapel, but you're using this entire unit together to pull your opponent forward, okay? This is a very weak motion. Rear delts, very small muscle, you know? Mine are pretty developed compared to the average person, but they're pretty weak compared, you know, to all the rest of your body. Even here, if I'm trying to engage with my bicep here, it's not so much. But if I can control the sleeve and go here, and there's tightness across the shoulders here, okay? From here, for me to go into like a big technique pulling forward, I'm capable of doing this, right? And there's no slack. Sometimes from here, I want to be able to bring this elbow up by the ear, bring down, up by the ear, bring down. These are sort of the two basic mechanics here, okay? Once I have this, look, I want to be able to rotate my hand downward this way, where I squeeze the thumb and the forefinger together, and I rotate it off this direction, okay? In order to adequately pivot my arm upward, okay? And then I can return and bring my elbow downward, okay? And this movement's very important in order to strip my opponent of a sleeve hand, okay? So I can go from this position, I can go up and then down accent really hard. Take the hand off, right? I could go down and up accent really hard. Okay, notice how I did this with the hand. Okay? In order to take the hand off. Now I know what you're thinking. What if the guy doesn't take the hand off the first time? Happens. I could go down hard, up accent up, down hard. Okay? This kind of thing, right? Okay? Yeah. Once you have this connection and the hand comes off, bang, comes off. Once he tries to re-grip the sleeve, now it's very difficult, okay? Try to grab his sleeve. No, get out of here. Ochi! All right? Learn gripping later. Start off with some of these positional stuff and understand how to grab the gi properly right off the rip, okay? So, when I go grab him, first thing I want to do is go for that sleeve hand. Low sleeve is very difficult to catch. Okay, I'll always go for it, right? I'll always go here and then try to go for it, but he'll always pull the hand back. And then I go hand on the collar, looking for that sleeve, generally. But in the beginning, I want you to learn how to go hand on bicep right away here, okay? So now, if he regrips this lapel, which he will, it's okay, because now I can start adjusting here. All right, notice how I adjust the shoulder. Hand on the sleeve, and now we're doing judo from this position. All right? These two things work together. All right? There's lots of little tricks. Now we're entering micro judo territory, so I don't want to get too much into that, but I'll show you some stuff. Okay, look. Adjusting. Hand goes here. Okay, this is it. Right? Right? I put downward force here. Adjust the gi. and then this hand comes here. So now much more control. Okay? Now there's downward force here and then forward force here to kind of give him a little bit more of a squared up feel. Trying to square him up. Sometimes Eugene's on the other side of my body and he's towards my weak side. I don't really like it. So I'm gonna pull here and do like a bow and arrow situation, right? And angle off to the backside, which makes it a lot easier for me to go from my turn throws to my dominant side. Okay? Sometimes there's downward pressure on his arm, I need to relieve it. So I'm gonna take him in the direction of the torque here, right? He's pushing down here. He's doing all the right things, I'm losing it. I'm gonna release. Adjust, cut, pochi, okay? That's the thing. It's micro judo we're talking about now. Don't want to get too deep into it. Sometimes I want to bring him forward and I want to go pull up, pull down, pull up, pull down, pull up, pull down to off balance him. I want to pull him tangentially. That's where you get this thing, okay? It looks like I'm just snapping the gi around, but really the force is here, the force is down, force is up, force is down, and then I can cut it. Okay? Because sometimes from here, I can't cut it this way. I need to off balance it. Back. Oh shoot. Alright? That's right versus right. One thing I didn't note for right versus right is once you cut this hand off, right? Cut the hand off, bang, it comes off. Okay? It's very important you keep this sleeve semi-loose. I'm gonna say loose now. Okay? Because this is very tight and then he cranks it away from me. It's gonna rip. It's gonna go away. The amount of force that he could generate by swinging his arm back as hard as he can versus my fingers, my little tiny baby fingers, right? It's gonna win generally most of the time. So once I'm capable to take this hand off, okay, if he yanks the sleeve away from me, go ahead. If I keep it loose, right, there's not a lot of tension on the hand here. Go ahead, take it off. Oh shoot, coachy. Oh, coach again. Right? I'm gonna let him follow it, okay? Sometimes, when I go here and I cut this hand back, and there's force going downwards, he wants to take the hand away in the same direction. Go down. Bang! Okay? That can potentially happen. So when I take this hand off, I keep it loose, go ahead, take it again, and I look, I change my hand position, so now it's underhanded. Okay, see this? So now when he goes down, it's just going into my hand. There's no actual torque on my fingers.